everyone, this is Teacher Mingwei from Kangaroo Study. Today on our P3 Road to GP Math, we're going to look at the topic Logical Reasoning with True-False Statement. Now, this topic has been tested on GP on average about 5 to 10%. That is 2 to 4 questions every year. So, let's dive right in and solve the questions. But first, let's look at a small example. One day, Pinocchio joined the school's 100-meter race. Then he ran. Then, he went to his friends. He said, "Ha ha ha, I was not last place." But then, he noticed that his nose grew longer. So, what does this mean? Did Pinocchio tell the truth or did he lie? He lied. This means that Pinocchio was not last place. So, what do we know about Pinocchio's place? Pinocchio was last place. So, the next day, he went to another competition again. Now, this time after the competition, he ran and find his friends. Then, this time he said, "Ha, I got first place." But again, his nose grew longer. Pinocchio lied again. So, this is wrong. Now, what do we know about Pinocchio's place? Can he be first place? He cannot. So, Pinocchio was not first place. But can he be second? Can he be third? Can he be last? Maybe. We don't know. But we just know that he must not be first place. So, let's do a very quick summary here. In a true-false logical reasoning, if a statement is false, then I was not last place becomes was last place. So, we delete this not. So it's not becomes is. Next, I got first place. Pinocchio was first place, but it's wrong. Then Pinocchio becomes was not first place. So is becomes is not. If it's false, then we add a not. Okay? So let's dive into our question. Remember this, okay? Very important. So one sunny day, Alex, Ben, and Cindy went to the beach. Only one of them can swim. Alex says, "I can swim." Ben says, "I cannot swim." Cindy says Alex cannot swim. So we know that only one person among them is telling the truth. Question asks, who can swim? So now, there's a lot of information here. You see, Alex says I, Ben says I. You don't know who are they talking about. So let's write them down. So what did Alex say? Alex says I. Alex is talking about himself. So Alex can swim. Ben said, "I cannot swim." Ben is also talking about himself. So Ben cannot swim. Cindy says Alex can't swim. So Cindy is talking about Alex. Alex cannot swim. So now, let me ask you. How many people can swim in this question? Only one. So only one person can swim. How many people among them is telling the truth? Also only one. Only one is telling the truth. So the question is asking about what? Who can swim? Now, we have turned all this question into very easy to understand words. So let's move on. How can we solve this problem? Now, we know that only one of them can swim. Do we know who? Well, that's what we want to find out. Now, we have all these statements here. Alex says, Alex can swim, da 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 da. Only one is telling the truth. Do we know who is telling the truth? No, we don't. Now, how can we solve this problem if we don't know? Now, maybe we can guess. Because only one is telling the truth. Let's guess that Alex is telling the truth. If Alex is telling the truth, what about Ben and Cindy telling the truth or lie? They will be lying. So let's do it this way. So here we have all our information and Alex, Ben is abbreviated or short form into A and B. So if we guess that Alex is telling the truth, Ben and Cindy will be lying. So this is our case 1. How can we know whether this case is right or wrong? Now we can actually check with the facts. The question is talking about who can swim or who cannot swim. So we can check using ABC, can swim or cannot swim. Let's draw a table, make it neater. So let's see here. So this is our assumption. Or assume. We assume that A can swim is correct. Telling the truth. So, assume is the same as guess. So, let's check. A can swim. Alex says Alex can swim. Correct. So, Alex can swim. Put a tick here. Then, Ben says B can't swim. Wrong. Can B swim? Can. So, let's put a tick here. Cindy says A can't swim. Wrong. Can A swim? A can. Correct. Any problems here? Now, for the students who are very observant, you have seen that, there is indeed one problem. Now, let's see. Here, the question says, only one can swim. How many people are swimming here? There's 2 people swimming. So 2 knows how to swim. So this is wrong. The question says only one. So, we know that our guess here, our assumption here is wrong. So here, first, we assume that Alex is telling the truth. Next, let's guess that Ben is telling the truth. So, Ben telling the truth, other 2 will be lying. Second case, check. Similarly, A, B, C, we check with can swim, cannot swim. Draw tables. Now, Alex can swim. Wrong. Can Alex swim? Can't. So we put a tick here. Okay, we don't need to put crosses. We only put ticks here. Next, Ben can't swim. Oh, Ben can't swim. Next, Cindy said Alex cannot swim. Wrong. Can Alex swim? Can. Eh? We put a tick here. Now, for some of you, when you are doing untick here, you may feel that, why did I do anything wrong? Why can Alex swim at the same time and cannot swim? Now, here, remember, here we guess that Ben is telling the truth. So, other two will be lying. So this is our guess. And based on our guess, we check whether who can swim or cannot swim. So basically, all you need to do is to write all the information here without caring about anything else. Okay, don't care, just write. Then we see whether we have any problems. And obviously, there is a problem here. Alex can swim and cannot swim at the same time. It's weird. Definitely, this will be wrong. So, Alex can swim and can't swim at the same time. Wrong. So our assumption, our guess here is wrong. Next, we guessed Alex telling the truth, Ben telling the truth. Next, Cindy. Let's try. Similarly, Cindy is telling the truth, other two will be lying. Third case, check. Now, Alex can swim. Wrong. Can Alex swim? Alex can't, so we put a tick here. Ben can't swim. Wrong. Can Ben swim? Ben can. Put a tick here. Alex can't swim. Right. So, can Alex swim? Cannot. So, do you have any problems? Let's check. Only one person can swim. How many persons swimming? Only one. Only one person is telling the truth. Is there only one person telling the truth? Only one. No problems. That means that we have the correct answer. So, Cindy will be telling the truth. Now, who can swim? Ben can swim here. So, that's the answer of our question. Let's do a very quick summary here. In our true-false logical reasoning, here we know that only one person is telling the truth. So, we guessed that Alex is telling the truth. Then other two will be lying. Okay, so here we assume the statements. One is telling the truth, so we assume Alex is telling the truth. Others will be lying. So assume statements. Now how can we know that this assumption or this guess or our guess is right or wrong? Yes, we check with the facts. So, check facts. Now, you see from just now until now, we checked 3 times. For every case, we need to draw a table. So we draw 3 tables now. So troublesome. Can we do it faster? Is there a faster method? Now, there it is. Let's look at an example first. Now, in a very dark room. Here, Superman and Batman are trapped in this room. So, Superman said, I can break this wall in pieces easily. Batman said, you're lying. So, what is the relationship between these two statements? If Superman actually broke the wall, bang! Is Superman's statement right or wrong? Superman is right. What about Batman? Batman is wrong. But one day, if Superman is tired and he break the wall, can't break. So is Superman right or wrong? Superman will be wrong. What about Batman? Right or wrong? Batman will be right. Can both of them be right at the same time? Can both of them be wrong at the same time? They can't. So these kind of statements, we call them contradictory statements. Contradictory statements. Okay? It's a very hard word. Never mind. So let's see. Superman says, I can break this wall. Superman is talking about himself. Who is Batman talking about? Superman. So both of them are talking about same person. And Superman says, I can. Batman says, no, you cannot. So cannot. What is this statements? Yes, they are opposite statements. So we have contradictory statements are statements that are talking about same object. Same Superman, but opposite statements. Now, but not necessarily. You see, if one day Superman just said, yesterday was a sunny day. Is these two statements contradictory statements? Let's try. If yesterday was indeed a sunny day, Superman right or wrong? Right. Batman right or wrong? Wrong. If yesterday raining, Superman right or wrong? Wrong. Batman right or wrong? Right. So, can they both of them be right at the same time? Both of them be wrong? Cannot. So, they also are contradictory statements. So, it doesn't matter whether Superman is talking about anything else. As long as one person says, Superman, you are lying. Then, both of them will be contradictory statements. Okay? So, lying. Now, what is the special feature here? Yes, one of them must be true, one of them must be false. Remember this. Let's move back to our question. Now, can we find contradictory statements? Contradictory statements are statements that are talking about same object. Let's see. Who is talking about the same person? Alex and Cindy. They're talking about Alex. No, Alex says Alex can swim. Cindy says Alex cannot swim. Opposite statements. So, we know that both of them, these two statements are contradictory statements. So, what is the special feature? You still remember? Come. Yes, very good. You still remember. One of them must be true, one of them must be false. This means that Alex and Cindy, one of them must be telling the truth or one of them must be lying. So, now, we don't need to know whether each of them is telling the truth or lying first. Let me ask you, do we know about Ben? Do we know whether Ben is telling the truth or lying? Now, for those students who are very fast and observant, you already know that Ben is lying. Why? Now, see here. The question says only one is telling the truth. Alex and Cindy, because they are contradictory statements, one of them must be telling the truth already. One of them must be lying. So, if one of them must be telling the truth, can Ben tell the truth? He can't. So, Ben must be lying. If Ben is lying, what do we know about Ben? Can Ben swim? Ben can swim. So, who can swim here? Ben. Done! We solved our problem. So, we actually don't even need to know whether Alex and Cindy is telling the truth or not. Of course, we can know. Ben can swim. If Ben can swim, only one person is swimming. Alex can't swim. For Alex to cannot swim, this statement must be wrong. This statement will be correct. Okay? So done. Contradictory statements, very useful. So let's do a very quick summary here. In true false logical reasoning, the basic method that we can use is we can assume one of them is telling the truth. So we assume the statements. So one person among them is telling the truth. So we assume. Okay? Next, to know that this assumption, this guess is correct or not, we check with the facts. Then, we said that there is one faster method. That is, find contradictory statements. Yes. Now, tell me what is the special feature of contradictory statements? Yes, one of them must be true and one of them must be false. So, that's the end of this question. Now, here will be a practice question that is for you to try. Feel free to try and type down the answer in the comments down below. Now, if you have any doubts, you can send me a message. Okay, contact me using this left QR code. I will solve any of your doubts. Now, of course, if you are, feel free to join our 2026 P3 study group. There will be a lot of study resources about GEP and also worksheets available from time to time. So, that is the end of this video. Thank you for listening. I'm teacher Ming Wei from Kangaroo Studies. Signing off. Bye-bye.